Welcome everybody. So today I want to show you how to attach all your charms to your wind chime and how to be able to hang your wind chime, okay? So I've got two different styles. This one is going to hang this way and the charms are going to hang down in kind of a circular pattern. And then this one hangs this way and the charms are just going to be directly underneath. So I'm going to start with this one right here. So you have a couple options. There's lots of different colors of string and everything that are available. So pick the color that you want and then kind of decide like where do you want the charms to hang, okay? And then for the actual cutting, you have a couple different options. So you want to kind of cut your string bigger than you think you're gonna need. So like you wouldn't want to try to like cut your piece really small because that's just going to be doing too much. So there's, like I said, a couple different ways. The smallest you would kind of want to go is give yourself like an extra inch at least on each end. And if you did that, then to tie this, you would thread this through and then you're going to cross it over like this, tuck it through the middle, pull it tight. Now, if you just leave it like this is gonna come untied, right? You have to do the little double knot if you're gonna do it this way, okay? So tie it through and then pull it tight. So it's gotta be at least a double knot. Now, you know, that's fine. And I would do the same thing on this end. And this would make a really short little dangle. That's totally fine. If you want a longer dangle, have a longer string. Now the other option, which I think I might do on this one, but really either way is fine, is I think for me personally, I'm gonna double up on the string. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thread it through like a necklace. And then I'm gonna put the string through the hole that I want it to be at. And instead of tying it the way I did before, where like, you know, I'm kind of tying it like this and going through this way, instead of tying it like that, I'm actually going to tie it where I hold both strings together and I make a loop in both strings together and then I just thread through so both strings get kind of tied together at the same time. And this needs one knot. So here, I'll hold it up closer. So it's like a loop with a knot at the end, kind of like a bracelet, right? Now, if you choose to do this kind, just make sure that the little extra stuff is hanging out in the back. And it'll look like that when it's hanging, right? So I would just attach the other two the same way. And, you know, if I want these two to be the same, I would cut both strings at the same time. If I want this one to be longer, then I would make my initial string longer. Now, regardless of, you know, how you want to do it, I would do this loop for this top piece because this is how we're going to actually hang it up, right? So I would do that where it's like a necklace where I thread it through, hold it together so both strings are together and tie it this way, right? So it hangs like this, okay? So I have a spot where I can hang and all my little danglies would hang down. Now, like I said, if you're doing one where you want it to hang flat like this, so like this one's got 3 holes. It really doesn't matter whether you have 3 holes or 4 holes or whatever. It just has to be more than 1 or 2 holes usually. I'm gonna cut 3, I have 3 holes. I'm gonna cut 3 pieces of string. They're kind of long, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually thread it through the other side. So I'm gonna have 1 string that goes into these 2 holes like this, okay? And then I'm gonna have this string go through, it's gonna share one with this one, right? I'm gonna have it go through these 2 like that, boink. And then I'm gonna have this one go through the other 2 holes. So each hole has like 2 strings in it. So it makes because I have 3 holes, I got 3 strings, right? So now when I flip it over, I'm gonna take all those strings and I'm gonna pull them towards the top, and like, you know, I can adjust to make it a little more even at the top if I need to. But I wanna gather all the strings up in one area so it hangs nice and flat like this. But I wanna gather all the strings up in one big wad, and then I'm going to tie those in a knot like this, right? So now it hangs nice and even like this from the central area, right? So now attaching these hangy pieces, these charms would get attached the same way that this one was. I could either do the single thread, I cut a longer piece. So I could either do the single thread where I have it go through here and I have to do the double knot, right? So I could tie it this way and then tie it again. But you have to double knot it if you tie it this way, right? So I gotta double knot it. Ooh, and if you do double knot it, you wanna leave some hangy area, okay? Like a lot of times I see students try to cut it really, really close. Leave yourself at least this much string when you cut it, otherwise it'll come untied later and we don't want it to untie, right? So, and then I would do the same thing on this end where I would cross it over, push it through the middle, and then do that as a double knot, right? And then I could trim it a little bit, but not too much. So now this is attached. So if it hangs, if I hold it up this way, this is gonna hang down below, right? My string's really long. That's okay. Okay? So either way, it's up to you. You can loop it like this, or you can do one more like this. It's entirely up to you. All right, have fun. Make it a good day.